everyone. Good evening. Welcome to your favorite Sunday tonic conversation with the Love Crusader. Yeah. If you're coming across this platform for the first time, it's a platform where we talk about love, life, relationships. We try to just have fun doing it. Um, this month of August, we've been talking about financial stability in relationships, just talking about love and money and wealth and finances. Today, we're talking about love, wealth, and fame. How do they work together? How do they blend? How do they? And we are the famous people in the room today. Me, number one, your host, the Love Crusader. And then there's Titi Lion, my co-host, always here with that gap tooth. Okay, let me not continue. And Emmanuel, we've not had Emmanuel in a while. We miss him. So we are the ones here today to talk about love, wealth, and fame, how they affect, influence each other. If you've not subscribed to our platform, please do so. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Facebook. Many of you have been sending me WhatsApp messages. I'm sorry if I'm not responding to all of them. But if you have a genuine question, I would really prefer you send me a genuine question and we'll discuss and talk about it. Also, if you have a beautiful love story, I believe everyone has one beautiful love story or the other, and you'd like to feature on our love seat, we're giving you opportunity as our audience to reach out to us and say, I'd like to share my love story with the world. All right, let's try and get into it. We've talked about love and financial stability, and last week we talked about love and laziness, how laziness can affect and influence our love life or our relationship. That was a very up until yesterday. We're still getting comments about the conversation we had last week. So let's go into it. Wealth, fame. Let's try to define, if we can, those two words and then see how they relate with love. Who wants to start? Ladies first, or ladies after gents? Ladies first.
However you want to spin it.
Ladies first. It's still ladies first.
As you just talked about fame now, I was just thinking in my mind, like, fame is no longer as we know it, I want to believe, because I want to believe that if yes, for example, on some level of on some financial level, and all of a sudden, well, not all of a sudden, but as time goes by, you find out that your financial level has increased to a significant extent, or it has increased beyond your expectation, such that you suddenly, not suddenly, but you somehow find yourself increasing financially. That is some form of fame for you, because with financial increase comes popularity, responsibility, um, new friends, and those are you become more people see you more, and you have the capacity to do more. And those are the characteristics that go along with famous people. So my point is, you don't really have to be that standard of famous before you begin to have these challenges. Once you're not just financial, I just use financial as an example, but once your territory begins to expand, in your own corner, you are gradually becoming famous.
Let me help you. Your social cycles.
Exactly. So you are gradually becoming famous within your own circle, and you begin to face the same challenges the so-called famous people face.
All right.
So
We are going to go into the details of the challenges, but before then, Emmanuel, what's your take? Fame, wealth, love, or
Oh,
what makes someone famous in the first place? Why do we say
Yeah.
they are famous
So
or well?
would mean that a person is, popular or widely known. Again, fame is relative because while listening to TT, I realized, okay, well, you can talk about being famous within a specific social circle.
Mm-hmm,
I think a lot of the time when we use that word in generality, we mean you're wildly known within a society, widely known within a society or a country, a state, something really, really large, or within the world, actually. And then, of course, wealth would mean you have an excessive amount of possessions or or financial assets. The two don't always go together to where if you're wealthy, you'll be famous.
mm-hmm.
If you're famous, it doesn't necessarily mean you're wealthy either. So, um, in our day and age, a lot of people try to convert their fame to wealth, right, by using their fame to generate wealth. But normally the two don't necessarily go together.
Mm, mm,
Oh, yeah. And of course, those two things, because they involve third party a lot, can definitely impact love in any relationship.
mm. Because they involve third party a lot.
Yeah.
Okay.
And by that, I mean, if somebody is famous and the person is in a relationship with another person,
Mm,
they are famous because they are known by other people that I will categorize as third parties. And those third parties, their opinions or their thought process regarding that relationship can definitely impact the relationship. And there are things people do to gain fame. And in doing those things that will make them famous, those things can impact their love relationships as well.
Emmanuel has said something now that I want to question. Can someone be wealthy and not famous, really?
Absolutely.
Hmm. I
Yeah.
would have thought that all wealthy people are famous. You people are shaking your head instead of talking.
Oh no,
Talking.
sorry. It is on mute.
Nope, nope. A lot of wealthy people that are not famous, even amongst normal human beings like us.
Right.
We know that a lot
Eh,
of people.
no, no, I'm not talking about the ones who that are coded billionaires. I don't want people to know that they are coded billionaires. I know, but I mean, for you to know that someone is wealthy, can they actually be able to? Will I say hide it, or will I can they actually not be famous if they are known as wealthy?
So
Because
when you
remember that wealth attracts friends and friendship and people.
right.
So is it really
So
possible?
if we are defining wealth as being known, we're essentially making wealth and famous or popularity the same thing because it means you're being known for this specific thing, which in this case would be financial fluidity and all that good stuff. But if we're just defining wealth on the basis of possessions and the abundance or excess of it, it's possible for somebody to have more than enough wealth and possessions and lands and things, and the person just wants to be an unknown factor. Again, it would be the reason why we don't have a lot of examples because these people tend to not want to be known. So I guess they will not be
Mm,
popular, right?
okay, oh, we don't know whether Sister
But there
Titi
are
is a secret billionaire now that
I
is
was just going
hiding
to say that
her
our
wealth.
host, our host is one of the wealthy people that
That
don't want to be
Sister
known.
Titilayo
Don't worry, we'll cover
is
your
a
secret.
hidden billionaire that don't
We'll
want to be
cover your
known.
secret.
Okay, okay. So let's come to why I say thought of this question, or this topic rather. Um, it's not just in our generation. It's just looks like even historically, people who are famous. So we're not really talking about those who are wealthy and known. We're not talking about the hidden billionaires and all. Those who are famous, whose lives are out there, who are, you know what I mean now, like their life being out there, they are known, they are popular. They seem not they seem to always have challenges with relationships. Is it that fame, love, they don't go together, or they are not able to cohabit or coexist?
You see, that's why, for the purpose of this conversation, I defined fame as not just being um, known or wealth or whatever. Because just like I said earlier, um, at some point there's a kind of myth. The same challenges the so-called famous people face. There are other people that are not so famous, not as wealthy, that are facing the same challenges or similar challenges low key. So the difference between the supposedly famous people is that, of course, we all know you, so we all know your problems. Big man, big problem. So, and especially in this time and age where everything is for content. You want to do everything you can to continue to be known, or to continue to put yourself out there. We are all your family aunties and family in-laws. So when there's problem, we are all this
no,
our family problem.
online in-laws and
Oh
online
yes.
family
Oh
members.
yes. So it's our family issue. We have to hear about it
And give our opinion.
and give our opinion. And if we are not happy, we express our displeasure. So it's a large family, really.
Emmanuel, what do you say? It's a large family, really.
That's exactly what I was going to express, the fact that, if you are known, you're right in front of everybody. And that means if there's something good about you, wonderful, it's in front of everybody. If there is something negative about you, of which we're all human and we all have things that are both positive and negative about ourselves, it's now known, it's in the public eye. And just as Titi said, the capacity to endure certain things when you're living a low key or quiet life is different from when your life is now in the public. It's almost as if sometimes you must respond or you must do something about certain situations that perhaps you would have just ignored or given time or worked on or tried to resolve. Now you have to do something about a story that just broke last week, or your partner is having lunch with somebody else, and now it's suddenly a big deal. Meanwhile, this is just stuff that happens with regular folks, and it's not a big deal. Unfortunately, the capacity to manage that pressure is the reason why it looks like relationships with famous people is a bit of a struggle.
Okay. Let me first, and we'll come back now to that conversation, because that's the nitty-gritty of the conversation today. But let me first shock you people to say that it's not just about us assuming that because these people are in the public eye. Actually, research have shown, and I'm going to read some small, just a very small statistics to you. Okay, so in 1 year, specifically, I didn't get the year, but a UK-based marriage foundation did a research of 3,600 plus couple, and what was realized was that divorce rate among famous people was 40%. Generally, worldwide, 40%. Divorce rate in the UK then that year was 20%, and in the US it was 30% among normal human beings. Normal and abnormal, but what it mean? Like let me use Emmanuel's was ordinary folks, like we ordinary people who are not so famous, and you know what I mean, wealthy. It was 20% in the UK and 30% in the US. So there was at least 10% higher rate of divorce amongst these famous people. So it's not just about maybe because all their life is out there, it's that there's actually a higher rate of divorce happening for them. And I'm wondering, is it the wealth? Is it the money? Because I know some people have said, oh, people marry such people even just for the money. Marry them just to divorce them and be able to make money off them. because they know they are wealthy. So the reason for the marriage is wrong from the onset, or the reason for the relationship is wrong from the onset, from the foundation. And others say, well, you know, it's a socialite thing. It's how you know that you've maybe come of age. Like, but I like what it is said about the online in-laws, and we'll talk about that later when we talk about the influence of social media on the relationships of famous and wealthy people. But then let's go more into why. Why does it feel like, or why does this statistic show that they have higher problems? They have higher divorce rates.
Well, it's not a surprising statistic. It's not.
Okay.
It doesn't come as a surprise. It is to be expected, because just like Emmanuel said, there's a lot of pressure. The pressure is getting worse. So, and again, it's the same kind of pressure we experience. Not the same, but it is pressure we experience too, as normal human beings or regular folks. But theirs is just, it speeds up. So for regular folks, if it takes like 5 years for that pressure to build up, for famous people it could take like a year. There's a lot of pressure,
Mm,
because you are trying to live up to a certain standard, you know
mhm,
and it may not be a bad standard. Most times it may not even be for the wrong reasons. So it may be that you are trying to uphold a particular view. You are trying to uphold a particular set of values,
mm,
you know, not understanding the challenges that comes with regular living. So you've gone about saying, you don't believe in divorce, is a sin, it's not this, it's not that. And here you
mm.
are in your marriage, you are now hit with a set of challenges. It's easy to talk,
Go on.
especially when you are not in that situation. So
Exactly.
you are not in that situation yet. You say, I cannot allow my daughter no, marriage is for better, for all those kind of things. So you've said all that. Now, reality has hit. Your kids are married and they are having challenges and they want out. And you're like, no, 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 no. You can't. That's where the pressure starts from. So you are trying to uphold certain standards, certain values. So pressure on different angles. It can be financial pressure. We all know you as the people that have made it, you have blown. All of a sudden, it's no longer business as usual.
Mm.
And you want to maintain that standard. So the pressure is increasing. Whereas normal human beings like us, that we are low, there's nowhere else
I
to
like
go.
I like what you just hinted on now. And it's not, I don't think it's even just that we've known them to maintain a particular standard. I think it's that they start off sometimes living that fake life. For some, just like I was saying now, for those who wants to marry a wealthy man, just to be able to divorce them and get maybe like a settlement, and become wealthy from that. I've heard and I've read about women who did not do any other job besides marriage, and they are very rich from marriages. So marry A, divorce, marry B, divorce, marry C, divorce. So if you already start on a fake life note, then the pressure to maintain the fake life, you see, sometimes it might not even be negative, like Titi was saying. Maybe it's even lovely pictures, lovey dovey pictures on social media. You are the one that's always posting your love. You are in fact, the one that everyone say, oh God, when marriage goes, you are the one to keep me laughing. Then when the marriage goes is no longer going, what do you do?
And sometimes
So
it's not intentional. It's not intentional because
okay.
it's not intentional because as at not for everybody, but so for example, the posting of pictures or being popular or being an influencer and all that. As at the time they were doing that, the
Mm,
going was good. Everything was going on well until it didn't.
mm,
So it's not from a bad place. It started on fine. Even the so-called celebrities, some of them is not the fake life. Some of them were just they just found themselves in this amount level of wealth. All of a sudden they just hit it, they just made it big, you know and they are living the life, they're having fun until something happens and it's no longer like that. Then the
mm.
pressure begins to build. So it usually starts off as okay, as everything is fine, and until it is not.
Okay, let Emmanuel say
So
his own.
can I
Let's
can I add to that by
please come. Yes.
saying that money in and of itself, let me just talk about the wealth part. Money is such a powerful tool, and one of the things that money does, it creates the capacity to have options. Um, and sometimes there are things people endure that they endure because they feel they don't, now it may not be true, it may not represent reality, but they perhaps feel they don't really have a better option. And because
Mm,
of that, they develop the strength to endure what it is they are going through. However, most people, I included, there's a level of wealth I'll have. There are certain things I will not take, or
mm,
do not, I will not even allow myself to go through, right?
mm,
And
mm.
like we've established, whether you are rich or poor, we all will go through stuff.
Yeah.
The difference is some people have the capacity to say, "Oh, this just happened. That's it. I'm done," and they're gone, and they can and they will. It's not. There's no, there's nothing holding back. There's nothing keeping you from. So that option that wealth brings really, really does impact people's ability to maybe stay true to what they believe and see things through. Sometimes that's just what is required in a loving relationship. You just need to endure. Sometimes you just need to forgive and you just need to press on to get to the next phase of that relationship that would most likely be better. But for most people that have the power of wealth, it is what it is. And why should I go through that? Also, the power of wealth attracts both good and bad people around you. So,
Yeah.
so your pool where you're picking a spouse or picking somebody to be in a relationship from is really so it's muddied up that it's not very easy for you to find someone who truly maybe loves you just for you, which again throws high levels of insecurity, uncertainty, coupled with the fact that you have enough money to marry. You can marry every month in a year, and you just stay in the marriage for 1 month. You have the money to marry next month. Imagine that kind of option or capacity. It does create the opportunity for people to do maybe what they would ordinarily not do. I just wanted to add that part to it.
Fantastic. And I think that's, you see, I always tell people that we come to this show to keep it very real. That's a very, very realistic way of looking at it too, because you're looking at the power of wealth, the power of money. And I remember that on this show one time we talked about whether education was the reason why, women were no longer so patient in their marriages. In those days, you hear some mothers stay for the children, or maybe they didn't have options of where would I go if I leave now, how would I survive with my kids. But we have ladies now who are quite independent, who can fend for themselves, who can live on their own. And so maybe it's short, it makes the ladies have short fuse. I'm specifically speaking about women, because in those days you had more of the men kicking a woman out and the woman begging to come back, forgive me and all that. But these days we're getting women who are kicking men out of the house and saying, I don't need you. Or who are even saying, I don't even want to marry. What am I doing with marriage? I've got a good career going on. Some of them have kids and just forget about it. So in the same vein, what we're saying now, I'm trying to tie it to, yes, I'm a man, I've got the wealth, I can marry like Emmanuel has said, it's Emmanuel that said it, is not me. I can marry a different woman every month. So why should I be taking nonsense from one woman? Maybe that will also make them have like some kind of short fuse towards themselves. And I'm also looking at the pressure of maybe the kind of work some of them do. Because to really manage a wealthy portfolio for those who are really, really wealthy, uh, it's a lot of time. So you find some of them traveling, spending months and days apart. Is that part of the problem?
That's part of the options Emmanuel was talking about.
Options.
It's just like yes, it's like power. Power corrupts. So it's like wealth intoxicates,
Mm.
And these things can happen to any one of us, For some of us, the only thing keeping us grounded is God,
Hmm.
because we have our values grounded in God. Otherwise, you have what are you talking about?
Mhm.
I can't take this rubbish anymore. I've suffered too much in this life for you to now come and start messing. Please be going on to the next, So, that's why I said that. And you talked about a wealthy portfolio that is not easy to maintain that well. That's why I said even the not so wealthy, even jumping from one financial level to a higher one, it's not
Yeah.
easy maintaining it.
Mm.
What you're talking about, they travel a lot, they are not present. It happens to regular folks too. So that wealth, that fame does not even have to be so mad. It doesn't even have to be so big for you to begin to see things like this. So I agree when you say with wealth comes options, with wealth comes a short fuse, and everything just falls into one thing leads to another, and you're like, no, 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 I can't think. So you need something stronger than the wealth that you found yourself in to keep you.
Hmm. Okay. We are going to come back and talk. We are going to talk about what can be done. I'm just really trying to expand on. I want us to just expand on the issues much more before we start, because we will not leave a problem without a solution. We will still try to see how these people can help themselves. We famous people, how we famous people can help ourselves, so we can be able to be successful at it all. Because I'm a woman that believes in being successful in the boardroom, being successful at home, being successful as a mother. I believe in the fact that we need to be successful at it all to be able to say, yes, I'm a success. One should not one should not be sacrificed on the altar of the other. you know Being a successful CEO, CHRO, as I'm hoping God one day, CHRO, you're in the boardroom. It shouldn't it shouldn't mean that you've sacrificed your marriage or your family life or your children. You know what I'm trying to say? Um, so we will try to give some form of, will I say, solutions. But let's talk about social media and the role of social media in this famous and wealthy lifestyle. Titi already pointed something very early on, and she talked about the fact that we have online in-laws and online father in-laws. Honestly, things to annoy me. I'm sorry.
It's you people that brought us to the family. We're sitting down on our own, JJ, when
In
you
this,
married us.
in this
So
generation, wait, Titi, let me just use this opportunity to talk how my own is vexing me. Somebody will bring their problem, their husband or their wife to social media. Koyemi, I don't understand. What is the aim and the goal of that? What do they even want to achieve in the first place? Why do I need to announce my divorce on social media? Why do I need to announce separation or breakup on social media? Is it for content? Is it for popularity?
because we were there when we all got married. We were all there. We were all there when we all got married. We were married together in this thing. So we didn't just come from nowhere now. We were there when it all started. And you've been updating us as it went along. And you've been telling us that everything is fine. Sometimes you are even killing us. Sometimes you are roasting us because like plantain. We're like, oh, our couple goes, blah 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 blah. So of course you have to tell us. We have a stake in the whole this thing union. So when you people break up, you will tell us. And we will
32 days.
express
Wait,
our
calm down.
displeasure.
When there was no social media, and I'm talking majorly now, let's maybe like Nigeria as an example. When we didn't have this much social media presence as we do now, we used to have people come to wedding. Plenty of people come and attend your wedding. Half of them you don't know. Truthfully, half of those who came to my wedding, I didn't know them. Some people even carry canopy by themselves because the church hall was not enough to carry people that the people me plan. I don't know where all the others came from. And they were so generous, they took care of themselves. They went and carried canopy. I just came outside when I was marching out. I saw that people outside their mother, those inside the wedding, you know, totally canopy anyways. Now, so the people always, I'm trying to say that the people are always with us in the journey. If you want to divorce, you go and call all of them and start announcing divorce. Why
And there
is
are more
it that we
people
must do it
now.
with
There
social
are
media?
more people now. Social media, that's what is the option thing. With social media comes options. So if before social media you have a wedding, 1,000 people attend your wedding. Now you have a wedding with social online in-laws. We're talking about 10,000 people, 1 million people. They are aware. We're
That you
there.
married,
Yes, and
that you are in
we
love,
are part
that
of
you are
the
engaged.
yes.
Yes.
And as the wedding is unfolding, you are giving us updates. We don't even need to leave our houses. You are giving us updates of what is happening, how it's happening, how you woke up in the morning, how you stepped out, how you are making it big, how is the love of your life. We know all these things. So when the going gets tough, when you now say there's a breakdown, there's a divorce, we want to find out what went wrong because that's not what you told us that everything was fine. So now they are saying that you are breaking up. No, we can't take it lightly because we've invested so much. We've invested our data, we've invested our time to watching you people. We've invested our emotions because you've killed
And
some
you'll be
of us.
hearing comments. I'm not going to mention name. There was
You've told some of us that our own marriage is rubbish. Like, as in, our standard is now high. We fought with our husbands and our wives at home because of you. Now the marriage has broken. No, we have to say something now. No, now the stakes are high.
oh my God.
We have
See,
to. We
it
have to
sounds
say
funny, but
something.
it's a serious reality that I always wonder at it like, okay, what is the aim and the goal of all this story? You know, someone said maybe they want to publicly let the world know that they are single again. So maybe it's an advert medium. Who knows? That's true. It can be. I'm available because I remember one popular comedian in Nigeria when his own ended. I was reading some comments and some people were like, bros, I don't mention a name because I'm not yet to advertise anybody's name. A family problem. Eh, bros, so you dare to leave this fine babe? Hey, please let us know whether this is serious. So because we've been eyeing this woman, marriage of almost 20 years. Abi how many years into your law? You people say you have been eyeing the woman. I was reading this comment. Otapo Jenny. Okay, sorry. Why am I speaking so much vernacular? There are so many enemies. So, you know. So, okay, all right, Emmanuel. Because there are some people who say they don't post social media because they are enemies. Are they right? Should we all just respect ourselves on this social media platform?
No, social media is here to stay. Even
Yeah.
if I'm not necessarily on social media, but it is here to stay. It's not going anywhere. I think as with everything else, we just need to learn how to use these things. That's the biggest thing we need to do because that popularity, what you talked about, people wanting to live their lives openly on social media. Now,
Mm,
if that is how you obtained your fame in the first place, unfortunately, it's probably how you're going to keep what you keep doing to retain that fame. Yeah. So if that was now, if your fame didn't come with you putting your whole life's business on social media, you may have the opportunity to become more conservative about, what you put out there. But all your fans, people want to feel like they know you. Yeah, people want to feel like they are connected to you. People want to feel like they're part of you.
And with time,
So
you too, you want to feel like you want to feel. With time, you too, you get that feeling. The
oh,
feeling is mutual, you know.
it's it's
So
amazing. So it is what it is. Again, dealing with, I think more importantly is learning how to deal with these things. And those people that are able to separate their quote unquote famous life from their reality are often the ones that are able to manage their reality, their relationships a bit better, because they know that that person that everybody's talking about out there is not the real person in the house. The real person in the house is a human being. She's a person, she has emotions, she has highs and lows, like every other person. And they're able to manage that a bit better. Social media wants you to be, well, I say happy all the time. And I mean, all
Mm,
laughy. There's this standard of expectation. And it's truth is none of us live like that in reality. But hey, you're a celebrity, so yours should be different. And some people mix it up together. I give you just one very weird example. I remember talking with a lady one time. She was telling me how her dad is a surgeon. So when the dad and the mom get into the argument, the dad will tell the mom, "Don't you know I'm a surgeon? I am this, that, and that." And we were talking about, in a laughing, joking manner, how people really take maybe what they do, their job, and all that stuff, and really, really bring it home and expect everybody at home to really treat them like that.
mm,
So it's just important for people to separate, that famous part of you. Yeah, keep trying to feed as much information as is necessary to your followers. That is not going anywhere away anymore. Cristiano Ronaldo had how many million views within 24 hours of creating the YouTube account? It
mm,
was ridiculous. So it is what it is. You just have
mm.
to manage it.
Okay, okay. We're coming, we're taking a short break. I'm here, we're not going anywhere, but I'm just going to talk about something else. And then we'll now talk about how these people, if it's possible, can manage the lifestyle. Emmanuel has already started going into it. I don't know, it's a challenge. It's a challenge. And I say it, with all sense of humility, even for those of us who are not, will you say upcoming famous people, Titi?
no, we are
The up
famous people. We are famous people. We are known.
the challenge to be able to keep your personal life away from the public eye is such a big one. It's such a big one. So we'll talk about the solution, but here's something I wanted to share with everyone before we continue. Now, can we all see it? I've been announcing this without the flyer. I'm not sure if the flyer is showing. Can you all see my flyer? Yes,
Yeah,
my
I can
flyer
see it.
is up there. So, Men Fences is collaborating with Obioma this September. September is already here. This September, Men Fences, Obioma, and DJ Sir Oreo, we are collaborating to do the 2024 edition of Back to School event. What this means is that we are raising funds to send children back to school with new books, with new school bags, with new school shoes, and school uniforms. We are not paying tuition fees. We are going to get there. Hopefully, when we start raising millions in our foundations, we'll be able to raise school fees. But for now, we're saying if the parents have been able to pay school fees for some of these indigent children back home in Nigeria, September is always a challenging time for the parents. And if they manage to pay the school fees, then let's support them by giving books. Let's support them by giving bags. Let's support them by giving these children books, shoes, and socks. Let them look good when they go back to school and be more confident in themselves. I shared with Obioma that myself, we had some time in our life when we went back to school with very, very patched uniforms. And when other people were coming in with new uniform, you're coming with your old one that your mother have used needle to, mend left, right, center, based off of the standard of life we could afford then. It kind of affected my confidence sometimes. I felt like, why can't I have those things that these other children have? There are a lot of children whose parents are just saying, let me just be able to pay your school fees. So we want to put a smile on their faces. We want to help them. We want to support these children to go back to school looking good. The account number is there, and if you want support, please, you can reach me via WhatsApp or just pay the money straight into the account number and make your reference mend fences. All right, there will be more of such coming on. We want to go as much as possible into the foundation work and the foundation aspect of mend fences very soon. Bigger stuff coming. All right, everyone, let's go back to our conversation. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, solutions. Let's talk solution. So Emmanuel already started talking about separating your famous life from your, okay, let's just say public life from private life. Please, how do we do this? My own biro is here. Suggestion, because I need it. How do we separate the public life from the private life? Because some of us have no choice but to be in the public eye. So how do we maintain the balance so that it doesn't affect our relationships?
For one, social media should not be your therapist. Your therapist.
Ha.
So social media is not your therapist. If you
Mm-hmm.
if you need to find a therapist, find a therapist. Talk about your personal issues and pains and whatever those challenges are with your therapist. Um, if you want to talk about your successes, joys, and maybe share a few things you can share, but then you should be conservative in how you share and not just make every fleeting emotion or everything you feel goes on social media. That's using social media as a therapist, and that's not what it is there for. It's there to connect people. It's there for you to, share information with your loved ones, far and near, and all that good stuff, and with your fans if you have fans. But it's not there for you to just dump every emotion, everything going on in your life and in your world on the people out there.
Mm.
That's one way, a good
Hmm.
starting point.
This my brother is very wise. I want to rephrase, social media should not be your therapist, to say your online in-laws should mind their business. Titi, you
No,
people,
no, no.
all of you online in-laws, mind your business. Stay out of our business. There are some people who feel like they have an opinion, like they have a right to tell you what to do with your life. Hey, you go and settle with your wife. Oh, hey, go and settle with your husband. Oh, don't do this, don't do that, don't do that. I think that's what Emmanuel is saying. I want to break it down when he's saying social media should not be your therapist. It's not from social media you should be learning. Yes, a lot of things to learn. I mean, but don't learn the negative ones. You go there, you hear the ones who will tell you, this is how you should treat your husband. Hey, this is how you should treat your wife. Even we who are certified coaches who have been trained, we are not supposed to tell you what to do in your relationship. We are not here to tell you what to do. We are here to give tips, things, pointers of how you may help if it works for you, because different things work for different relationships. So when you go now, you watch one video, you say, henceforth, this is how I'm going to be treating my husband, because somebody has just posted a video of where she was knocking her husband and knocking him, and the man was smiling. Your own husband might not smile, oh, you may get a slap back. And this advice is not just for famous people, it's for all of us. We have to sieve. We have to sieve what we are picking from that social media. We have to, I think that's just the best word, sieve it, because it influences us. Generally, even the time we spend on it should be limited. Don't live on social media. I don't know how people can do it. They live on it. They wake up in the morning. This morning we've woken up. We want to go to the shop. From the shop, we'll go and drop children in the school. Camera is following them. From dropping children in school, you are not Kim Kardashian. Okay, anyways. Titi, tell us some.
I don't agree. I don't agree at all. I don't
Yeah,
agree.
tell me.
What if you are Kim Kardashian? What if you are the Kim Kardashian of your area,
Oh,
of your
Jesus.
street? You are saying well, it depends on the way. That's why I said this fame thing has levels.
Okay.
So you think I'm not famous in the world or in my country, but in my street I'm famous.
Hmm.
and I'm doing this for my fans, the fans on my street,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So just like
But
you
this is
said,
affecting your relationship, Unko.
I'm coming to that. Just like
Thank you.
just like you said,
Yeah.
just like you said, for some people, that's why I started initially by saying that um for some people it's the intentions are good. It is for a good cause. And when it is for a good cause, we have to be real. You cannot it is difficult to separate your personal life from social media because we know what people want. Just like Emmanuel explained earlier, people want to feel connected, you know, they want the real stuff. So, say for example, you're a relationship coach, you can't continue to teach principles without giving examples out there. And you can't continue to give examples without talking about your own life. It's not possible. So when you say separate your personal, you can't separate it.
Hmm.
Now, what you can do is to control what you put out there, you know, or agree with your partner. Okay, this is the extent to which we can put out there, or this we can go this far, or yeah. But to say you now separate it, that's for people that are into things like that. Then for there are other businesses, there are other people are on social media for different reasons. There are people that wouldn't be on social media if not for the kind of business they do.
Yeah.
There are people that their business is tied to family, so they have to project their family. What of I know people on social media that their business is about events, not event management. What do they call these people that decorate
Lifestyle.
houses?
Life. Oh, okay.
Lifestyle
Yeah.
and
Lifestyle and is it
ah,
decorators.
they
Uh,
the person, no, I can't
the people
remember.
who revamp your property.
Yes,
Okay.
you call them. So their life at some point, the more they begin to become successful in their craft, the more they want to like showcase what they can do. And some of them start really small. They don't have the influence yet.
Yeah.
They begin
Someone
to
said
showcase their
interior
family.
decorators. We're looking for the word interior
Interior
decorators.
decor, yes, that's
Thank you,
it.
Manuel.
So they begin with their own home. you know they begin to show things about their own home. There are people that are children educators.
Mm.
They
And you have
begin
to
to
show
talk.
your own children. Ah.
Even if when you don't show the kids, you talk about them. You talk about this is the value I try
In
to
fact, wait, it
instill.
is sorry to cut you short. This thing say made me remember now. Let's even start with pastors. They don't preach without, hey God, our father,
You
Bishop.
see,
I
so
can boldly mention his name because when he was preaching, he used to use us to preach. So let's use him to
and
preach.
there's no way you can tell people like that. You can't separate it. It just can't happen. It won't flow after a while. They don't even need to be on people like that, they don't even need to be on social media, you know. So I just realized that it is difficult, but again, you can control it to an extent.
Yeah.
So that's
Emmanuel
where
of course said, sorry, sis. Emmanuel of course said, set boundaries.
exactly
And I think
set
that is
boundaries.
that is just maybe the conclusion. When the scripture said, here is the conclusion of the matter. Because through Titi is being very realistic. Emmanuel is also being realistic. Every one of us we're just being realistic about the situation. Sometimes really you have to
Okay.
use your private life to sell the public image you want to sell. However, let there be boundaries. One, let there also be agreements. Because if you're telling the story of your marriage, you're telling the story of your family, then there should be some form of agreement with the family. Don't just start telling their stories without them being aware, excuse me, or without them agreeing to you telling their stories. It might be embarrassing to them. So I agree kind of that the summary of it all is just to set boundaries. Okay, someone else should talk. I don't know what's going on. Just coughing and coughing.
I
Let's
agree too. Boundaries is key. Just that's the only way you can get a little bit of power back. Like like control the narrative. You know, I know a very popular relationship and marriage coach that I just noticed over time, and he talks about his family. As a matter of fact, the more popular he has become, I feel like I feel like on a good day he wouldn't put his family out there, you know, but he has now become, there's more influence, there's more power, there's more wealth, you know, so he has put his family out there. But I just realized that there's some form of control because we feel like we know this couple, but we don't really know much like that
Yeah,
because they kind
we know
of
what they want
control.
us to know.
We know what they want us to know. They kind of control, even when in their teachings, you see that they talk about principles and things like that, their relationship. But I think they've curated what they want to share. And in their curating what they want to share, they talk about the problems too that they face. So they are being real too, right? So one of the challenges is the fact that sometimes most people that put themselves out there without boundaries and all, they just show us the beautiful side, you know, and we're loving it. We're salivating. We're like, oh, hey, if
God,
my
when
husband can just do this one, you know, then all of a sudden you now tell us that the marriage is over. It can't be over. Oh. I'm invested. My emotions are in this
all
marriage. It
right,
can't be
our time
over.
is up. Our time is up. I never, if we continue, we'll still have a lot to say on this matter. Please note that after we've gone off air, you can still watch these videos, you can still leave your comments, you can still share them, you can still talk to us via WhatsApp. We have a WhatsApp number connected to our Facebook page. You can reach me. Many people sent a lot of messages this past 1 month about the things we've been talking about on this show. Please, 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 when we go off air, it's not the end of the show. It actually should be the beginning of the show. You can continue. If you missed it, you can watch it again and again. Just click on the link. It's there on the page for you at any time. This conversation, if we want to continue it, this 1 hour is not going to be enough. But I believe that we've said, we've scratched at it. There are a lot of reasons, the pressure that fame and wealth bring. So before you just pick your phone and choose to put your life out there, please weigh it. Weigh the price of fame. Are you willing to pay that price? That's another aspect. Even before you begin to tell us how, ooh, she say yes, she say yes, and then you show us all the beautiful and other. Yes, it's good. It encourages people. It inspires people. But are you ready? Are you ready for what will come of it? Sometimes we get bullied online. Even small me that's just coming up. Once in a while, I get some message. I'll be like, hey, what's this one thinking? What I'm saying is A, this one is talking Z. Anyways. So because we all think, people think different, you're in public. So you should expect that there will be public relations that you've opened your door to, who feel entitled to your life. They want to be part of your life. Some of them genuinely, some of them out of envy. Because the way some people used to behave when people divorce, you come and tell the man that this your wife is so beautiful, I've been eyeing her. Nítorí Ọlọ́run, people should fear God. Anyways, thank you so much, everyone who has joined us today. Thank you to my amazing co-host Titi and Emmanuel for your time. We always love it when I see two of you. I'm always confident. Like I become very bugaish. Remember. We are trying to sponsor some children in Nigeria to go back to school this September and feel much more confident about themselves. Please reach out to me. Please support us, or just pay the money straight into that account and make your reference mend fences. Thank you so much, everyone. Next week is going to be the first Sunday of September, and we're coming back here with Love Seat. You have a question, reach out to us. You want us to do some premarital counseling for you, because prevention, they say, is better than cure. Before you go into the marriage, know what you're going into. Please try and reach out to Love Crusader. We can arrange your premarital classes for you for some small money. It's not plenty money. Don't worry. It's something you can afford. All right, everyone. Thank you so much again. We'll see you next week. If you have any questions, please send in your questions. Remember to subscribe. Remember to share. You could be saving someone's marriage or relationship by the things that we are doing on this platform. I love you all. See you next week. All right. That was not my banner that was supposed to come up. Hold on 1 minute.